Good morning and welcome to our recap of Coffee and K plans for our October session. Today we had a pretty dynamic set of people that came to visit us, and we strayed a little bit away from the norm of 401k plans and went into the realm of health insurance and employee motivation.
So as Krista mentioned, we had a couple guest speakers today. So really trying to recognize that most of our clients, our plan sponsors that come to this event, they're not just working on the 401k plan. They're doing a lot of other things as well. So we kicked it off with Gina DeStefano from the DeStefano Group, and we will include her contact information in the email or in the links, however that works. I'm not that tech savvy. So Gina opened it up and talked a little bit about self-motivation and motivation. We're heading into fourth quarter now. Everybody's a little bit stressed. Everybody's trying to get so many things done. And she talked about, starting with yourself, trying to be the kind of person that everybody wants to be around, a little bit about self-care, how to do that. And then when you are the kind of person that you want to be around, you can kind of bring that into the workplace, into the home, into sales meetings. So that way other people want to be around you and you're able to spread that. So it was just, it was a good session. It was a good way to kick off our October meeting heading into fourth quarter.
Yeah. So after Gina spoke, we actually had Pete Miller from Millbrook Benefits touch on health insurance and actually a little bit regarding the new FMLA law that's come about recently for Massachusetts. And he was super dynamic. He had some good stories to tell and examples. And I know that when our health insurance comes around and we're looking at premiums and that kind of thing, it's pretty daunting, even as an employee, but can you imagine what HR has to go through when they're looking at health plans and what's really going to be in the best interest of employees? Can you kind of go into a little bit of what he described in terms of big health plans and spouses?
Yeah, absolutely. So Pete was talking about cost savings and some different ways that employers can find cost savings in their health plans. So one of those had to do with spouses. It had to do with incentivizing moving spouses or families off of the health insurance and the savings that can be found through that. Hope I can do him some justice in recapping what it was he had said. Unfortunately, he had a meeting right after and couldn't be with us for the recap. But was talking about, some nice ways and some not so nice ways to get spouses off of a plan or families off of a plan. A couple of the nice ways had to do with, maybe establishing an HSA and giving some of the money that the company would save back to the employee in that way. So both parties benefit in that. Spousal reward plan. So there are a few different ways there. We are going to also include notes and contact information for Pete. He has an ebook that's 8 ways to reduce your healthcare costs. Mm-hmm. So we'll include contact info and link for that as well. Like I said, I don't think I'm doing him justice with his recap. He had a really lot of good information, which is why you should be here at the Coffee and K plan so you don't miss out.
So in terms of those different types of things with the health plans, he did talk about splitting companies to make small employer plans a little bit more cost effective. One of the examples he gave was a company that had about 60 employees, and that makes a large employer health plan, which means that claims have a really big impact on the premiums for the company. There was one particular family he mentioned that had about 5 people in it, 2 adults and 3 children, and just their prescription drug cost claims were way more than the premium was for the entire year, which increased the premiums for the entire company. And a creative way to kind of get around that was to split the company into 2 separate companies, making them both small employer group plans, which helped the premiums in the long run. So there's a little bit in terms of creative ways that you can reduce those costs. I would really highly recommend taking a look at Pete's ebook. He's a really good guy if you need or have any questions on health plans and health insurance and even disability plans as well. Which sort of brings me into the FMLA discussion that we had talked about. I know that's a huge, huge thing right now on people's radar. You may have noticed that tax coming out of your paycheck recently. I did. Did you?
Absolutely. A lot of people aren't happy about it either. A lot of people are, questioning what it is. I feel like there was information out about that, but maybe not as much as people were paying attention to or would have liked on it. So he was talking about there are alternatives to the Massachusetts plan. There are alternatives to taking the deductions out of your employees' paychecks now. An employer can look at doing a private plan that would satisfy these same requirements. And then with the private plan, they would get the exemption from the deductions as they are currently. You don't need to pre-fund the private plan. I said there were 12 or 13 private plans already approved in Massachusetts. So there's still some kinks to be worked out. There's still some information that I feel like they're still waiting on and trying to figure out how they're going to handle everything. If you are an employer and you're wanting to know more about this, or you're considering doing a private plan instead of the Massachusetts plan, the deadline to file for a private plan exemption is December 20th. So I would encourage you to contact your benefits broker if you're looking for more information on that, or Pete. Again, we'll have his information available.
Great. So that's basically the end of our session today. I did want to touch on just a couple of things coming up for November and also December. November, we're actually having Caitlin from Paylocity come out. She's going to be talking to us regarding payroll integration with the 401k plan. So going back into our wheelhouse there. And she integrates with several different record keepers. So it doesn't matter what record keeper you have, come. She's great. She's a great speaker, and she's very informative in terms of payroll. And then in December, we're going to take a little bit of a break from our Coffee and K plans because we're going to be having a client event coming up. And you'll get invites for that in the mail if you are one of our clients or someone active in the community. So look out for that. But thank you so much for watching our video, and please come and see us in November.
Yes, we'll see you then.
All right.
Thank you.